Hi, my name is Donald Fish, and for my project, I chose to focus on Starbucks Corporation. Starbucks was founded in 1971 in Seattle's Pike Place Market, and this was a company started by three men, an English teacher, a history teacher, and a writer, who uh, really had the common goal of creating an establishment that would focus on roasting and selling to the public just the finest coffee that they could create. And they would also focus on selling the equipment to their customers so that they could brew this coffee in their homes using uh, using the finest equipment that wasn't readily available at your local Walmart or Sears. And so fast forward about 10 years, and a man named Howard Schultz visits his first Starbucks and is just completely awestruck by the atmosphere and the energy and the life that's present in the stores. And he even joined the team, the leadership team of Starbucks, the following year, heading up their marketing division. It was that same year, in 1982, when Howard Schultz would make a trip to Italy and would experience the coffee shops uh, that were present there and just the atmosphere um, that they created. And it was this trip that just completely changed his dreams and his focus for what Starbucks was and what it could become, and really created this dream for him that is the Starbucks that we know today. However, when he got back to Seattle, the owners didn't like his idea. They didn't think that this is the direction that Starbucks should be going, and so Howard left the company, and he created his own coffee shop in Seattle called Il Journal. And it was through this separate company that Howard created that he began to hone the craft of owning a coffee shop and trying out different things and really mastering that craft. And fast forward 5 years, and the owners of Starbucks decided to sell their chain to Howard Schultz. There's still Seattle-based chain that was only still selling their own roasted coffee beans and equipment. Well, it was in this transaction that Howard Schultz then changed all of his Il Journal locations to Starbucks, and the Starbucks coffee shop that we know today was born. Quickly thereafter, Howard Schultz focused on an era of rapid expansion for the company. And in 1992, he introduced the initial public offering, bringing Starbucks Corporation public and and allowing it to be traded on the stock exchange. And it was through the funds raised in this IPO that Howard Schultz was able to take Starbucks and just take the expansion that they had been focusing on for the past 5 years and really taking it to the next level and really exponentially increasing their rate of store growth and their expansion around the world. In 2000, Howard Schultz then stepped down as CEO of the company, but remained involved in all facets of the business and was in the office almost every single day, and still led the annual meeting for the company. But it was also during this decade that Starbucks began to focus on other areas outside of coffee, including the entertainment industry, where they bought a record label, and the film industry, where they partnered with Hollywood film companies in order to promote and to even bring certain films to market. They also focused during this time on their food business, which has never been to the caliber of their coffee business. But they introduced breakfast sandwiches during this time, which really had a detrimental effect in many people's point of view to the atmosphere of the locations because of the aromas that the sandwiches created whenever they were cooked, and also just the diversion away from their core coffee business. In 2007, on the cusp of the economic downturn, Howard Schultz sent a message to then CEO Jim Donald, who, and it was in this memo that Howard Schultz just laid out and was very honest about what he felt was a commoditization of their brand, of the Starbucks brand. And he mentioned the rapid growth that they had focused on for the past 15 or so years since the IPO, and how they had made decisions that he felt had led to the watering down of the Starbucks experience. Well, this memo was leaked, obviously, and within the next year, in 2008, Howard Schultz was back as CEO of Starbucks Corporation. He spent this time in the midst of the economic downturn, refocusing Starbucks on their core business of coffee. He slashed divisions that weren't related to coffee, and he invested in brand new espresso machines in every store that were easier to use, that were more efficient, and that created a more consistent product every time. He closed all stores for 3 hours one evening in 2008 to retrain every barista in their stores to learn the basics again of how to create the perfect espresso, the perfect latte, and the perfect cup of coffee, and what all this meant. And it was this move that he felt was needed in order to just dramatically shift the focus back on the coffee for not only the company, but for the individuals who are on the front line with the customers every single day. In other words, he was serious about this. And at the same time, Howard Schultz had to make the difficult decision to close 977 stores around the world, including cutting 18,400 jobs in the US alone, from 2007 to 2008. Now, today, Starbucks has come a long way. From one location in 1971 to 165 locations at their IPO in 1992, and today, more than 17,000 stores in more than 55 countries around the world. They truly have become the premier purveyor of coffee and coffee beverages across the globe. Now, some of the interesting things that I've discovered in my research are that, one, Starbucks provides healthcare benefits to any partner who they call employees, working 20 or more hours per week. And I find this dedication to their partners incredibly refreshing in today's economic situation. And also, that while their focus is on coffee, even more so, their real focus is on people. And this is incredibly clear by reading their new mission statement. So as part of the revamping of the image of Starbucks that Howard Schultz started in 2008, he also worked to recreate and just enliven the mission statement. So here is the new mission statement for Starbucks as of 2008. It says, to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. See, nowhere in there does it mention anything about coffee. But what it does do is focus dramatically on the relationship with every single customer who walks through their doors. And not only the ones who walk through the doors, but the potential customers in the communities that Starbucks exists in across the country and around the globe. Now, in my research, there's no shortage of information on this company. They are highly successful and very well regarded in the business community, as well as from a customer point of view. While there are those who have varying viewpoints, for the most part, is very positive. But through all this information, there is also information that is untrue and information that is irrelevant to this project. So uh, while there's so much information available, it's also difficult to just drill it down to what is really needed for this project. So that has been a difficulty that I faced. Um, and plus, one of the things I would have liked to be able to bring to the project are some information from both of Howard Schultz's books on his his company, his baby, essentially. Um, but his first book was Pour Your Heart Into It: How Starbucks Built a Company One Cup at a Time. And then this year, marking their 40th anniversary, he released a book that really is the story of when he came back as CEO in 2008 to today, and really the future. And it's just appropriately called Onward: How Starbucks Fought for Its Life Without Losing Its Soul. And I think that is one of the just greatest uh, things about this company is that they never desire to compromise their soul. Um, One of the interesting things that I read was that Howard Schultz, in an interview, had three monitors behind his desk in his office. Nowhere on any of these screens or anywhere in his office was there an indication of what the current stock price is of the company. And Howard Schultz has a view that the stock price has no bearing on the success of their company. But what it has shown them to be truly successful is their focus on their core business, their focus on the people. And while they may have diverted for a time period here or there, they have weathered a dramatically challenging time in our economic history. And they continue to be an incredible and vibrant company. Thank you.